Sitting with me today in the Coach's Corner, Steve Johnson. Thank you for joining me today.
Sure, happy to be here, Seth.
So the first question, you are the coach for the men's and women's cross country team. So on the men's side, finishing fourth at the Iowa Conference meet last year, losing your top runner in Sam Reed. What are you guys looking to do? Obviously the competition's tough in the Iowa Conference, with Central and Loras both being ranked in the top 15 right now in the country. What are you guys doing to perform better than you did last year, and having both the Mosier brothers helps you as well?
Losing Sam was not only a great runner but a great leader, and that's always fun to watch him mature into those leadership roles. One of the things that we work hard on is making sure that the next group of leaders is ready to take over. Chase has done an awesome job leading the team and stepped right in, not only by words but example. What are we doing different? The Iowa Conference, we were the only team in the conference. Luther lost some people at graduation. We lost plenty of people at graduation. Loras and Central had very good teams last year and didn't lose a soul. So they bring everybody back. We've had to replace graduation losses. We lost, I think, 3 or 4 of our top 7 last year with Sam and Adam Best and some other guys. It was a great group. What are we doing different? We've got to earn it. And so it's tough when you've got 2 teams. I think Loras was ranked 12th or 14th or something like that in the last poll, and Central's been between 5th and 8th all year. We've been ranked around 30th, plus or minus a few, and so it will be a tough job. But the fun thing is the conference meet, it sets up differently than most of the meets. Most of the meets we run are big invitationals, lots of people, fast guys, everybody can get out. Conference meets ends up being this high pressure but low numbers. And so teams can falter and teams can upset. There's no distractions. We know where Loras is. We know where Central is. They know where we are. And so it gets to be kind of man versus man or woman versus woman kind of thing. We're not supposed to beat them, but it wouldn't be the first time a team that wasn't supposed to win would win. And so we're going to set it up. We're going to put a good race plan together. And if they falter at all, we're going to be there to take them.
How do you feel about your teams on the men's side, their effort this year? We already mentioned losing Sam Reed. Normally in the past several years I've been here, the women's side is a little more dominant, but how would you describe this men's season? And we talked about, for me, consistency, seeing Ben and Chase basically 1-2 every time, but then the guys after that as well. So how would you rate this season?
Team this year's better than last year's team. And the women have been good the last few years. It doesn't take long before you go back a number of years and find out that the men were 8 and 9 years in a row at national championships, and the women were there some of those years. And so, the whole feeling of sport is that it fluctuates. It kind of goes and kind of waves in, waves out. The goal has been to get both teams back at the national championships. We've done that more than any other team in the Iowa Conference. We've missed the last 2 years in a row. Our men's team has been the first team not to qualify for the national tournament. We're trying to change that this year, but the region also didn't very few people graduated much. In the region, we were the first team to graduate the most. Luther was up just ahead of us, and they graduated quite a bit. So it's been a challenge. This men's team is more focused. We're deeper this year. Last year we had 4 good guys. One of them got hurt late, and that really took us out. I mean, he ran well, but was a little bit back. This year we got 5-6 good guys. And so keeping everybody together, keeping everybody race, I think our chances are better to be in the hunt this year.
On the women's side, we're used to seeing the dominant cross-country team, and this year you've done that, maybe not to the level you have in the past. You've dropped out of the top 25 recently, losing 2 good seniors last year, and then also Alana, with her injuries. How tough has it been on the women's team, and then not only that, but then some of the younger women and some of the seniors that maybe you don't normally think about, people like Serena Goetz has had a really good year, and people like that. How well have they responded?
Women's team we haven't pulled in the big rankings, but it's going to be fun because we're better than we've shown, and we're better than we're ranked. Our men are the same thing. We're probably a top 20 team on the men's side. It'll be interesting to see how the region meet and the national meet come together. But we were probably a top 20 team last year. We just didn't get the chance to prove it. We were ranked as high as 21st last year. We were the first team not to get selected out of our region to go on the men's side. Carlton, who we've been racing with, right, they beat us last year, but only by a few points in a couple different meets. They finished 14th or 16th or something. And so we were there, we just didn't get a chance to prove it. Women made it last year. We had a good year. We had a couple injuries last year that kept us from being a top 5 team. But we still finished 11th. This year's team, we've lost the front runners. We're trying to develop Serena as becoming a new front runner. Lana out with injury. She's a champ and tougher than nails, but not injury-wise, so she's out. But we got really good depth. I think our chances of getting in the conference will be very competitive. We won, I don't know, 4 in a row, I guess, or 5 of the last 6, something like that. 3 in a row. This will be our 4th in a row. We've won 3 Central Region titles in a row. Only one other team has won 4 in a row, and that's us back in the 90s. I don't know whether we're ranked to do it. We're not ranked to do it right now, but we're not going to be that far out of it. We're better than what we've shown. Last year we probably weren't as good as what we showed. We were undefeated all year until the national meet, and it was just a good team. This year we're as good as we were last year, so I think we can come in and I think we can surprise people at the end of the year, and I think we can be a top 15 team in the nation and that kind of thing, so I think it's good.
So last year, for the viewers at home that don't know, the women won the Iowa Conference meet and the regional meet. How do you guys look to repeat? You said your team's just as good as last year, but how do you take that from practice and put it onto the course?
How do you take it from practice, put it on the course? Every year presents, you know this in sports, I mean, every year the leadership and the type of the team is a little bit different than it is. And so putting this team together, we graduated a ton last year. 3 of our top 4 runners, including our 2 All-Americans up front. Hope to have Alana back, which we really have done well for us. Didn't happen. There are some teams that didn't graduate. Carleton didn't graduate a solo last year out of their top 7, probably I think out of their top 10. St. Olaf graduated 1 out of their top 7, like they're number 5. So with our big graduating class, they're better teams this year than they were, and we're trying to make up for lost ground. We will put together a really good team, and we're performing well, we're practicing well. Can we win another region title? I don't know. We always run to win. But if we can't win, we race for second. If we can't get second, we race for third. I mean, we're in there for the race. And so I think, I don't know how we put it together differently. I don't think we ever approach things differently. I'm stammering around to kind of come up. No, we're going to run and we're going to try and win another conference championship. We've won more of those than anybody, and we're going to go try and win another one. We're going to win another region championship. We've won more of those than anybody, and we're going to try and do it again. If we don't, we don't. But we'll put ourselves in the hunt, and we'll be out there competing.
What are your expectations for nationals? We've talked about regionals. We've talked about the Iowa Conference. What are your goals for both the men's and women's sides competing at nationals? Last year, you already said the women finished in 5th, I believe.
We were 11th last year.
Okay, 11th.
Yeah.
How do you improve on that?
I don't know that the goal is to improve. The goal is to compete as well as we can, as this team can. And we see ourselves as a national caliber team. We are a national caliber team. Our women's cross country and track program has been the top Division III cross country and track program in the country. We have an award for that, and we've been that for the last 3 years in a row. Our goal is to put ourselves back in there to do our part in cross country to give us good team place in the national meet so that we can do that again for the 4th year in a row. But it's just a race. It's just like a game. You know, you play a basketball game, you play a football game. You've got opponents that you play. You try and set up a game plan that's going to win. Same thing cross country. But your bottom line is you're racing people. And if you can get in there and have your mindset that you are able to race that person or those people and put yourself in the right position to win, then you've got a great chance to do it. And so I think we've grown to the part in this program that we see ourselves as nationally competitive. And we expect to be that, and we go and do that. And that's that's a place that most programs never get to. They hope to be as good as, or they hope to be there. No, we see ourselves, we belong there, and we belong competing with the best.
All right, thank you for your time, Coach Johnson. Thanks for joining me in the Coach's Corner.
Sure.
Just to let the viewers know, the cross-country team will be in action on November 1st for the Iowa cross-country meet, and then November 15th for the regionals, which will be in Pella, Iowa. So reporting for Night Vision, I'm Seth Nutting.